Hey, Jeff here. I'm back. So I've been gone all week. Got home yesterday. I had to go a few hours south of here to sit. I don't want to say babysit. My wife's family, father-in-law, mother-in-law down south of us here. She went down to visit. She goes down periodically. Went down to visit, and he wasn't feeling too well. And she eventually took him to the hospital, and he had pneumonia and was just not doing well. So she put him in the hospital, but she had to come back home in order to work. So I went down there because I'm working from home. And I stayed the entire week with the mother-in-law, who is forgetful. I guess you could say Alzheimer's, something along that line. So spent most of the week working from there and dealing with her and answering the same question multiple times a day. But anyway, made it through that. Got home yesterday. Found a couple records had come in while I was gone. So here I am. And I'm back in my home surroundings, ready to go. A couple of the things I got in are different. So I'm going to split this up into different videos just so that I can deal with these more. But so this first one I'm dealing with is a band you may not be familiar with, Steve Taylor and the Perfect Foil. I'm going to try this so that there's not as much glare. These sheets are the worst part. All right, so who's Steve Taylor and the Perfect Foil? So Steve Taylor is a band that I've been into, is a guy. Used to be Steve Taylor and some band. He started back in the 80s. It was in 82. He came out with I Want to Be a Clone, a little 6-song EP. Meltdown at Madame Tussauds. It's just called Meltdown, but the song is about a wax museum.
Meltdown at Madame Tussauds. They're blending very well. Ever seen the Beatles have seen a better day. Better off to burn out than to melt away.
Madame Tussauds. And then this is we're on the fritz. So these three, which was 82, 84, and 85, is what I refer to as the pop years. This is his music. It's upbeat, poppy, fun, early 80s pop type stuff. Very tongue-in-cheek, satirical lyrics. Interesting, thought-provoking, very, like I say, just very tongue-in-cheek and satirical. I don't know what else to say about it. Then he entered into a phase in 87. This one I don't have on vinyl. I'd like to get it one day, but it's I Predict 1990. Very alternative, interesting, a little slower, very much not poppy. A lot of people ended up not liking this. It's a mature album, very more mature than the other ones. Anyway, songs like I Blew Up the Clinic Real Good or Jim Morrison's Grave.
Jim Morrison's grave. Jim Morrison's grave.
Or Svengali. Just a lot of interesting stuff on here. Followed up in that was, what did I say, 87. Then he took a hiatus for a little while, it seems like, and then 6 years later he came back with Squint. Again, very much in the same vein, alternative rock, not hard rock, just alternative rock, stuff you might have heard on the radio at the time, sort of, kind of. Then disappeared for quite a while. Just, I don't know, went about living life. And then in 2014, he comes back, Steve Taylor and the Perfect Foil. Like I said, the earlier stuff was Steve Taylor and some band, then it was just Steve Taylor, now Steve Taylor and the Perfect Foil. There are a couple seasoned musicians in here with him. Again, sort of satirical, again, kind of more garage rock this time around. Definitely not pop, less alternative, kind of a garage rock type stuff.
I don't even take offense. A quiet confidence has been my mark since I was a child.
Now, this came out in 2014, like I said, and it came out on vinyl, I guess, in a year or so later. I did pick it up when it first came out. Might have even been a crowdfunder maybe. It's autographed by all the guys in the band. One notable person, I guess, the drummer is Peter Furler. He's well known for being in the Christian pop band Newsboys. So if you're familiar with Christian pop and praise band Newsboys, then you've got him on drums. He started off on drums at the Newsboys, and then when the singer left, he stepped up and became the lead singer, and they got another drummer. So this is very cool. Very much, like I say, in the vein of his later stuff, a little more alternative feeling. Now, I went ahead and picked it up because the price had dropped. And then I also picked up the follow-up, which 2016. Now, one second. Steve Taylor and the Perfect Foil. That's kind of like the band name. Steve Taylor and the Perfect Foil went on tour with the band called Danielson. Now, I don't know anything about that band, except for now that I look them up, they've been around for like 25 years. They're quirky, fun, alternative, garage rock, poppy garage rock, melodies, harmonies, cool stuff like that. Kind of alternative. Anyway, they went on tour with Steve Taylor and the Perfect Foil, and then they said, hey, let's collaborate. So out comes 2016 Steve Taylor and the Danielson Foil. So it's kind of a mixture of the two bands. Now, again, similar but yet different. Very more alternative and garagey. Let me look. I'm going to read. On here is a sticker and it's got a review. Let me just read this review and it might help. Dan Smith, I believe is the guy from Danielson. It says, Dan Smith just put together this ad hoc band with a singer named Steve Taylor, and they played this really rowdy punk rock, and that record is effed up and great. I didn't expect that kind of music out of them, and I certainly didn't expect it to be as awesome as it was. I was expecting it to be charming or interesting. It ended up being raucous, and really great, according to Steve Albany. Buddy Head radio interview.
I thought I was so much further along. Water seeps through these red flags, right or wrong. With every risk comes returning reward. Shadows of light trails connecting the chords.
So it's an EP. The other one I believe is just on black. This is on an interesting pinkish. And again, it's alternative, modern feeling. I don't know. When I first heard it, I can admit, long time Steve Taylor fan. I expect the poppy. It's still got the satirical type lyrics, maybe not quite as much. It's a little more thought-provoking type stuff. This was kind of, okay, it's more modern and different. This was really kind of a little more quirky. But after repeated listens, because I want to force myself to, Steve Taylor, I've been a big fan since the 80s. I wanted to really give it a chance. And the more I listened to it, the more it grew on me to where this is a really cool album. So this is totally, most people watch me and I'm all into metal. This is totally not metal, totally the other side. So this is my pop and rock side. And this is, anyway, it's called Woe to the Deadness. And then I found out there's also, I guess they released a live album, Woe to the Liveness or something, that was only digital. Need to go track that down. I guess for some reason that slipped past me. Anyway, Steve Taylor, alternative type music. Pick it up. It's great stuff. If you're into that kind of just garage rock, indie rock, that's a good name for it. Indie rock, quirky, fun, interesting. Steve Taylor, long history. Glad to see him back. Hope there's more coming. That was 2016, so it's been a couple years. Hopefully we'll hear something new. Looking forward to it. Anyway, that's all for now. Thanks for watching. I'll be back soon. Got another one coming up because I got a couple more things in. Later. Rock on.